What's going on, everybody? How you doing? Welcome to the Music Industry Makeover. Have your man DJ Ron, Tamika Hall, and D-Ray, the producer, is in the house. What's up? It's Thursday night, and hey, this is how we roll, man. Hey, what's going on, y'all? How's everything? How's your week been? Oh, man, it's been like that, huh?
We are here.
All right. I hear you.
You know, it's funny. You get these certain times of the year, like right in the transition from winter to spring, when independent artists are looking to do releases and they're looking to get out there. And if you're a person that is in the behind the scenes, this is a busy time of the year for you.
Most definitely, yeah. Hey, that is so true, right? And we're going to talk about that for sure. All right, so you all go spread the word, let folks know, hey, it's on Music Industry Makeover. Also, if you want to advertise things like that, or you want us to help promote you, go check us out. Music Industry Makeover is up under the umbrella of the Music Industry Networks LLC, and so we will definitely want to thank our sponsors and advertisers that have come aboard, and so we would like to have you on as well too. Okay. As long as Black Sauce is in the building, the food is going to be right. That's what I'm talking about. Order yours today. Yes, definitely. Yeah. Thank you so much. All right. Hey, again, all our advertisers and sponsors. So again, if you are interested, make sure you definitely come on board. And hey, we'll definitely take care of you. Hey, Miss Tamika, how's everything going on there, ma'am?
It's good. I'm just tired. It's been a long day.
Okay. Hey, well, we thank you so much for hanging out with us. Appreciate you. Now, hey,
I'm sorry, y'all, for eating. It's like my first time eating. So
first time eating all, man. Okay, wow. You was on an involuntary fast or something like that, or so.
Pretty much. Try not to get on camera because I've already been called a dinosaur.
Oh man.
We know who said that.
Oh man.
There is no evidence to support that.
That's D-Ray, the producer, man. Hey, but you know what? Hey, he took your advice and he finally got him a website right there. Hey, there it is. Hey, so go ahead and follow D-Ray, the producer, on Linktree for sure. Okay. Hey, he has this information there as well as also yours truly too. Yeah, I'm on Linktree also. So hey, let's definitely connect out there for sure. All right. So all right. Hey, well, let's get right into it. We're going to talk about, again, we'll be taking your questions or comments or so. We're going to talk about when it is right to have a publicist, when it's the time for you to have one. Okay. Different between a publicist and a manager out there. And everybody, a lot of artists wants to run and get and be and have a manager so quickly once they say that, oh, yeah, I'm about to make a record, whatever. Okay. All right. Well, what is there to manage? But that's another talk show. But all right, having a publicist though, when is it the right time to have a publicist for you as an artist? Okay. So Danny, you have brought that up, man. When do you think is the best time to have a publicist?
Well, first of all, I believe that for starters, you shouldn't have. Hey, Mary, how are you? Having a publicist early is not necessarily the greatest of ideas because, you know, you really should be doing a lot of the publicity and stuff. You really should be, you know, have multiple hats if you're an independent artist. And so having a publicist like right out the gate, hey, I got a publicist, really a waste of money, especially when you don't have a marketing strategy. Sometimes you don't even have tracks, you don't even have music. What is there to build a buzz about if you don't have any material and you don't have anything? And then as it starts to go along, publicists are professional people. That's a professional trade. Nobody wants to do the work of a publicist for free. So the question is that when do you have, in my perfect scenario, and Tamika could probably speak on this a little bit better. In my perfect scenario, when a job gets too much for you to handle, that's when you start looking for a publicist. If you can still do your own publicity, then you don't need a publicist.
That's good.
I'm in agreement with that. Yo, I just smashed the small pizza in what was that? 5 minutes? Y'all.
2 words. Two words. Jurassic Park.
Stop it. You all listen. I'm not gonna let you vex me tonight. I'm not gonna let you vex me tonight. But I couldn't have said it any better. For there are times where I'll have a label that will contact me about working with one of their artists, and the difference with that is that they have a budget. So when you have a nice budget, then you can have a publicist. So for somebody, if they don't understand what that is, a lot of times people are like, hey, I need a publicist. Our job is to connect you with media, get you some media attention and different things like that. From my end of it, I work with that. I also help build the brand. So, I do a lot of brand building. I kind of wear a lot of hats whenever I work with folks. And so if you haven't already kind of established a platform for yourself, a publicist can come in and help you do that. I will tell you, it makes our job easier if you've kind of already, you've been working it, you've been tilling the ground, you already somewhat have a fan base that they kind of know who you are, they know what to expect from you and different things like that. Because what we are always kind of looking for, at least for me, my angle is always, what is the story behind this artist? And so a lot of times, even other people in the media, other radio folks, it's more than just the music. Like, you can have a really hot song, and yes, we want to get on all these stations that, play our music, but you want to be able to be more than that and have more to offer than just your song. And so a lot of times what people in the industry, in the media will say, well, what is their story? Like, what is your testimony? What is the thing that makes you interesting? So a publicist will oftentimes take you and your story and help spin what is interesting.
That's good.
If you don't know what makes you interesting, and to me, that comes from learning and doing the work yourself. Honestly, my skill set came from learning how to do it on my own because I couldn't afford to pay somebody to do it for me. So I learned how to write my own press releases. I learned how to network and talk to the media. I learned how to do that stuff back in 2005 when I wrote my first book and I wanted it to go in the newspaper. I researched, the internet is way better now than it was in 2005.
Most definitely.
I learned how to write those things myself. And who knew that all this time later I would parlay that into a business. But so yeah, I think I hate to say it because he called me a dinosaur twice, but I would say that Danny is 100%. If you can start on your own. Because by the time you actually get a publicist, there's a price tag that's attached to it. So yeah.
And I think the key thing is the work ethic. A lot of artists, unfortunately, they want someone else to do it all for them. But the thing is though, you have to give people something to work with, and it's just that we just can't make, or publicists can't make something happen out of nothing, and again, you have to put in that work as well. So basically, when you have a publicist, that's part of your team. That doesn't mean that you stop working, but you have to, and I think that's where the mentality comes in. Well, I got other folks doing it for me, so I could just lay low and just do what I really want to do. And
I'll be honest with you, Ron, and while I do agree with you in some respects that sometimes artists are lazy, but a lot of times I think it's easy for us to kind of like, artists are lazy, they're cheap. Like, we can say all that stuff, but I also think there's a part of it where some artists just don't know. They don't know how to do it, right? And they don't understand that they have the power to actually Google, use YouTube. I'm telling you, I was doing this stuff before those things were hot. You know what I mean? And I was getting nationwide publicity as an author, And then when I
Wow.
became an artist in 2015, I took those skills that I learned from promoting myself as an author, and I did the same thing, you know, as an artist. But I think a lot of times artists really just don't know, and they feel like in order to get in a magazine, I need to have a publicist. The thing is, publicists, they have relationships with people. So what happens is oftentimes I will come into a situation and I have to assess, and I work with many different groups. So I work with artists. I also work with authors. I work with business owners, and I will come to someone and I have to assess what is the best course of action. What is the strategy for us to get their product, whatever that product is, whether it's music, I don't care what it is. What is the best course of action to do that? Right. So I come up with a strategy for that, whether that utilizing social media, utilizing the power of media such as radio, magazines, blogs, podcasts. Hello, wink, wink. Those that are tuned in listening, I'm giving you some nuggets on places you should be looking for some media attention. And I already, you know, I've cultivated relationships. So some of what you get when you do work with a publicist and even a manager are people who have cultivated relationships. And because of that, they automatically kind of know, okay, this magazine's a good fit for her because their target audience, it's young people. So, you know, I know that, you know, my artist Radia Renee should work well in the His Favorite Teen magazine because it appeals to young people, right? And I have a relationship with that publisher to be able to connect to Shanae and say, listen, I want to write an article and da-da-da-da-da, right? So that's kind of what you get, but you can do those things yourself. You know what I mean? You can do those things yourself, but you do have to understand that there is a price tag that comes with that. Even your publicist and your manager or whomever, when they do things, sometimes they have to deal with the fact that there's a cost to some of those things.
And then plus, you know, your time is valuable too. You know, they're paying for your time. And again, you know, just like what you're saying, you know, figuring out, okay, what would be a good fit, because it's like going to a radio station, you know, you taking your music, you know, if you're an urban gospel artist and you're going to a country music station, well, that's not a good fit for you because, you know what I'm saying? Hey,
you're absolutely right. And I mean, Tamika dropped a lot of knowledge right there. The thing is like we consistently say on this show, you have to know your why, right? If you don't know your why about your art, then it's hard to create relationships with anybody because you still don't know who you are as an artist. So I believe I said something that said this to someone earlier this week. If you believe it, you can make somebody else believe it because you believe it. If you believe in whatever your art is, you have to believe it. And the only way you can believe it, you have to know your why. Secondly, back when I worked in college radio, a lot of these bands that would call the station to create relationships with the music directors, right? They didn't just blindly throw music at a radio station and hope that they would get played. You know, the real ones, they're on the phone, they're emailing you, and they're saying, hey, you know, I have such and such, this is such and such company. We feel like this would be a good fit for your radio station. Can we talk about maybe adding this person into the rotation? Creating relationships. That means that the next time you see that logo, the next time you see that label, you're like, those people are on their game. I'm going to at least give it a listen before I put it in file 13. And lastly, you have to have the personality to be a great publicist. Now, I haven't sat up here and I joke with Tamika because Tamika is like the sister I never had. However, the one thing you could say about Tamika right out the gate, Tamika comes in with information and she's professional and she knows her stuff, right? You want to hear her talk. You want to hear her, whatever it is that she's selling, you want to hear her, at least hear her out. Because by the time she gets to you, she already believes in it, and she's ready to, you know, to go out there and put her best face forward. That is the kind of mentality and the kind of personality you have to have when you're doing publicity.
She has a vibrant personality as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, what is it Right. Thank you guys so much for that. I do appreciate that. But I do actually, Danny, what you said, you actually were talking to me. And this is actually something powerful that I think everybody should understand. I am a publicist. I work in marketing, have been doing it for a very long time. And I actually went to Danny because he has an expertise that I needed. I went to him because he understands about Facebook ads and strategy and knows how to set them up. And I went to him regarding my one of my businesses. And we sat down and I went to him and said, can I book a session with you? So sometimes you don't need a whole publicist. Sometimes you just need to be willing to pay for a coaching session and have somebody. And you know what I mean? Like, because sometimes I'm going to tell you something. When I don't mind working with an artist, since this is a music show, I don't have a problem working with an artist that is brand new. Mm-hmm. But the level of branding and the work that it takes to get that artist and to package them and so that the world looks at them and they're like, yo, okay, they've been here for a while. It takes a whole nother level. It's a whole nother other level, right? Mm-hmm. And so honestly, there will be times when a label, if they come to me and the artist is brand new, when I get in there and I'm helping to create the brand and I'm starting from like ground zero, that's minimum $1,500 a month. If and a lot of times people don't have that, and I actually don't charge as much as most people, right? And I've been told a lot, and I think Danny actually was telling me I needed to increase my pricing, right? But I'm just saying I don't even charge as much as everybody else. So I understand that, everybody may not have that to be able to come to me and say, okay, Tamika, I need you to create my entire brand, right? But what you can do is you can book a session with me and say, okay, Tamika, can I have an hour of your time? And what I do is within what we can do in that time, I can talk to you and say, okay, well, let me look at what you got going on. This is what I think that you should do. This is the path. We can create a strategy. I have a lot of brands. I had a DJ that yesterday just booked me for a brand audit. Like, he was like, I want to take my brand to the next level. Can you come in? Can you look at my website? Can you look at my social media and tell me what I can do different? So what I'm going to do is I'm literally going to look over his company. I'm going to dissect it. What are the emails that you send out? What's the social media? What's your social media look like? When you respond to social media, how are you responding? How do the colors that you use in your logo, how does that affect people when they look at your stuff? And he's going to get a report from me. But he didn't just come to me and say, hey, Tamika, can I buy you a cup of coffee and then try to talk to you for 5 hours? He didn't say that. He was like, Tamika, I need you to come in and no, I'm not necessarily going to pay you $1,500 or more a month to come and do my publicity. I'm going to attempt to do it myself, but can you help me and give me a blueprint? So there are ways to get around it. And where you can learn how to do it yourself. And there's so much power in learning how to do things on your own.
But you're going to pay something, though. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's a lot that you can do that doesn't cost money either, though, Ron. You know what I mean? Like, I know we harp on that. We tell people all the time, you got to have a budget. But there really is a lot that you can do that doesn't require money. Sometimes investment is time.
True that, which is more valuable than money. Okay, but again, if you're asking somebody, again, I ain't gonna get to it. But the fact is if you're asking somebody of something, don't come with your hand out. You know what I'm saying? And that's my pet peeve.
Yeah, here's the thing. I'm gonna piggyback on what Tamika just said, and Ron, we probably are gonna come around to what you just said too. But I was on the opposite end as an independent artist coming up. I hate it. Now, don't get me wrong. I know how to do publicity. I know how to do press releases. I know how to go into an area that we're about to perform and find where the entertainment section is, find out who the editor is, find out who the emails, hint, everybody that's trying to figure out how to do it. I just hate doing it. Okay? Here's a strategy for the creative folks, the producers, the DJs, the beat makers. If you don't like telling your story and talking to other people, put your story in your music. Put your story in your craft, right? Elevate your craft to wherein the first time Tamika hears your track, she hears your project, I just painted a picture picture of or what direction I can go as far as publicity, because you've already told your story in your music. Okay, so that could be another strategy for some people, but still, that's not necessarily a detour from doing the job when you can't afford someone to do the job for you. But it is a way that you can kind of start building that brand when because there are some people that really have a hard time talking to other people for whatever reason it is.
Well,
You
yeah,
know?
it is a gift. Yeah.
Yeah, right, right. Now that's one thing that I can say about Ron. Ron has this gift that Ron can talk to anybody. You know what I mean? And Ron has that he has that that he can be in places and get into places because he's good with people. I would dare to say everybody up here is good with people. But there are some artists that really they just have anxiety talking to new people, and that's fine. But there has to be a way for you to be able to tell your story, though, and there has to be a creative way for you to do that.
Right. Again, hey, we're talking about when you need to have a publicist. When if you're considering one or so. Okay. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to go ahead on and inboxes or put your comment up there. So because this is for you. We give you nuggets and things like that because this is a music show. And again, marketing and promotions is what we do, advertising. And again, you cannot skip the process with that. Now, I had made a post earlier, and Danny said he disagreed or so when it comes to radio, and what I was talking about is with the program directors. All right, they are the gatekeepers of their own audience. Okay, because every radio station has their own audience, and so they select the music of hey, this is what I want them to hear. I want to keep this flow going. So with that, it's like, okay, there's other radio stations that may fit that your music may fit. Just because one program director won't play your music doesn't mean that another one won't. All right. But the fact is that you have a whole area out there. Instead of just staying at one particular station that you want to get on, go and look and see other stations as well. So what was your opinion of that or so?
Yeah. So now when you explain it like that, that makes perfectly good sense. I do agree with it because there are plenty of different radio stations across the world, that you can target your music to if it fits your marketing plan. The thing though that I want people to understand, especially independent artists, is that while the music industry is $1 billion business, it is relatively a small circle of people. Which means that if you do something or say something that is unprofessional, you run the risk because you never know who's in the room.
Correct.
Right? You never know who's in the room. And you would think that there are 100,000 different music directors and music programmers out there. No, it's only a few. and you get blackballed or say something that says, hey, your music does not fit with what we're trying to do in our corporate structure, you're not going to get played. I don't care how good your music is. I don't care how strong your marketing plan is. And what winds up happening is, let's say, if iHeartMedia, who owns the majority of radio in the United States, if someone from iHeartMedia says, well, we're not playing him or her, guess what? There's a strong possibility that other media companies won't play you either. And so you just have to be careful with that because you can burn bridges in this business.
Yes, you can't get blackballed in it. And so, watch your attitude, watch what you say, because you never know who knows who. All right. And I play a lot of music based off of a relationship with other DJs that I know. So, and then if you have a bad attitude as well, too, I'm like, nah, I'm not going to show you no love. Nah, because again, it is what it is. It's watch how you treat people, the things.
Because DJ, I'm sorry, Tamika.
No,
DJs talk. Yeah, DJs talk.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
We do.
Producers talk. Content creators talk. It's one of the things that most of my clients have heard me say is that when you are entering into a new relationship with someone, you check their credit. Now, what does that mean when I say check their credit? You go and you go on social media, you find a media page, you check their mutual friends, you see if anybody that you know knows them, and you start asking some questions. You know what I mean? How many of y'all that are on this panel right now have been inboxed about somebody that wanted to work with them and they wanted to get your opinion on how your relationship was with them? Hey, classmate, good to see you. How many of y'all got that inbox and you have to decide, okay, am I going to tell it? Am I going to tell a little bit, or am I going to tell it all? You know what I mean? Depending upon how your last working relationship is. So, and I know Ron and I got a certain person that popped in our head right when I said that. We won't even talk about it. You muted, Ron. But yeah, so that is, you have to really, 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 really be careful on that. So
yeah, I just tell them, hey, this is my experience with them. I'm not gossiping or anything. I'm just saying, hey, this is what went down. It is what it is. And hey, you could choose to decide to work with them or not or so. But oh yeah, hey, yeah, no, I know, no, I don't believe in gossiping. No, I believe in telling the truth. And so it is what it is. Go ahead, Tamika, you want to say something?
Yeah, I was gonna say that as somebody who owns a radio station, it's important that if you want your music played on a station, and I know there are a lot of stations out there, but if you really want your music on there, support the station, follow the station on their social media. I know for us, we tweet out when we're playing a particular song. So I personally hate Twitter, but Twitter is great for artists because it will let you know who's playing your music. And a lot of stations are kind of jumping on that. I mean, as a radio personality, I was doing this before it became a cool thing to do. I would tweet people every time, a song was being played. And so if a station tweets you, retweet them. It's a reciprocal relationship. And so I don't, and quite frankly, I don't care how people feel about it. If I'm rocking somebody's music and I post that we're rocking their music, I find out that they don't follow the station on any of our stuff, they don't like anything. Like if I post something, I take their music off the station. I don't care.
There you go.
Here's my thing. I own the station, and I personally do not take money to play people's music. I don't do it.
Same here. I don't either.
And you're right. I am the gatekeeper, so I have a certain flow that I like with my station. So if I put music on the station, I actually really do like it.
Right.
But if I feel like you're not being supportive of the station, I'll take you right off of there. And honestly, will probably never play your music again. I don't care. I've met mainstream artists who were, I'm not even going to talk about it, but I was, I'm not going to say who it was, but a very legendary artist. I was picked to model some clothing, and they were so rude. I do not play their music on my station. I could care less.
Wow.
My station, I don't care. I'm not getting paid to play your music.
So what is with Bettina's question? So when do you give someone another chance?
Look, you know what?
I can't say that I do, honestly. Because honestly, to me, I'm like, so let me just explain it like this. So with iWorship, because I do have the background that I do in marketing, I do a lot to market the artists that I play. My heart with iWorship is for the indie artists. And when I created iWorship, my vision for that is that we would have indie artists played right alongside mainstream artists, because we as indie artists pay a lot of money for our music to be produced. And sometimes the pressure for us to constantly put out music, to me, is on another level. Like mainstream artists really don't have to put out, like they can, and Danny probably knows more about this than I do, but they can rock a song for like 2 years, you know what I mean? And just keep on pushing it from station to station to station. And with indie artists, there's almost that pressure of constantly having to produce new music in order to kind of stay hot, right? So for me, if I like somebody's song, they send a music to the station. I am actually one of those directors, and the director that I hire, that I have under me. We actually will let people know, hey, listen, we're going to spin your music. How many not a lot of stations do that, right? So we kind of have that Southern hospitality, and we do that. And then, at one point, like when I'm not super busy, and I'll get back to it, I will typically post and say, boom, we are playing D-Ray, the producer's newest single, right? And I'll post about it. So we do a lot, like, because that's my heart, is to push indie artist music, especially if it is great music. I don't play music unless I think it is good, right?
Right.
And so if I find out that somebody is not promoting, I'll be honest, I probably don't even like when I get those emails. Most times, Bettina, it's probably not right. I don't even open the emails anymore. I don't. Like, I have mainstream artists that they're you know, their people will send music. I don't even open it. Why would I do that? You don't even support what I did do. I don't do it.
There you go.
Everybody's not like me, but I'm sure most are.
Oh yeah.
I'm just saying.
No, and let me come on the creative side. If you're a producer and you've worked with an artist, and that artist doesn't want to pay you for your work, they always want free music. She hit the label that time, Ron. Did you see that? She didn't hit it from the side. She hit the label. But no. They always want free beats. They want free this, free that, and none of the things that you can say, okay, we're in a business relationship.
Right.
When the next time that you get that inbox, I'm probably busy. You know what I mean? I'm not going to go that route because I know that my involvement with you is not going to contribute to the light bill that I have to pay to get my equipment to turn on.
Correct.
You know what I mean? It's not going to help me if my computer crashes with these 96 tracks that you just emailed me that you want me to mix for nothing. And then now I got to sit up here and I'm looking at a broke computer because I went there with you without, creating some kind of relationship. And so to go back to answer Bettina's question, when do you give them another chance? It really depends on how egregious the action is up front. If someone is just like rude, and then 2 or 3 years from now, you can see them on social media, you may interact with them or whatever, and you can see that there's some growth, that you can see, they have some measure of, I was a different person then, and and I try to do things the right way now. I'm all for that, right?
Right.
But if you got a person that has to leave the state because they ripped off so many people, right? As a matter of fact, if you have a person that had to leave the Eastern Seaboard,
yeah,
because they ripped off so many people, and it is a good possibility that bridge is burnt permanently.
Exactly.
And once again, this is a very small industry. People talk. People talk a lot.
From a biblical standpoint, as the Bible say, don't let your good be evil spoken of. You know what I'm saying? So again, read in Proverbs, look at all, you know what I'm saying? Hey, there's a lot that's being said there. Everything that we need is in the that's the wrong one. And but everything we need is in the word of God. So it's watch how you treat people.
The Bible wrong.
No. She had you're wrong station website up and everything. So
that's what you.
but yeah, again, be kind to one another. Watch how you treat people, okay? And then also, I want to go to segment. I posted something else concerning radio. All right, I want to give shout outs to all the internet radio stations owners out there. You know what I'm saying, and program directors like myself, Tamika, others, or so. That again, internet radio is essential. Okay, it is very essential. If you don't think it is, and you rather go ahead on and put all your focus on terrestrial radio, then stop sending your music to us. All right, keep your own gospel music, because the fact is that again, we are the future. We are working hand in hand. Radio is important, okay, but the fact is, internet radio is the future, and we have the freedom of creativity compared to terrestrial radio. And there's some in terrestrial radio that think, okay, well, it's, we just kind of like a stepchild or whatever, or not as important. But the reality is, we are the future. We are important. We are essential, and we'll play your music a lot faster than corporate radio. All right.
Here's the thing that the independent artists and people in general need to understand. You're right, Mary. When you're looking at terrestrial radio, usually the FM stations, right? There is someone usually in New York, right, that creates a playlist that gets shot out to all 10,000 radio stations in the United States.
Correct.
Right? You have very little chance as an independent artist unless you have some very, very deep pockets to put
say that
yourself
again.
in position.
Hey, say it again because your Wi-Fi was messing up. Say it again.
Okay.
Ron is coming from your
No.
Wi-Fi.
Man,
I
look,
talked earlier. Yeah.
So shady.
Ron coming out the spectrum. They ain't got nothing to do with me. Ron coming out the bag on This was brought to you by Spectrum.
No, see, I want them to hear what you're saying because that was some important information.
No, you good.
Your Wi-Fi sucks.
Upgrade your internet, Danny. No. But someone, I was just saying, someone in New York decides who's going to get played on these 10,000 radio stations, and you have very little chance of getting in that room if you don't have deep pockets.
Exactly.
Okay? And so the whole idea, what I used to tell before internet radio started coming, being more of a thing, I used to tell artists, focus on college radio first.
Mm-hmm.
Focus on going to your local university in your area, find out the college radio station, make sure your music fits their format, and you can create relationships that may parlay into doing a college tour if you know those colleges well. But as internet radio has become a thing, it has become more of an important. I have seen artists utilize internet radio. Even myself, I can go look at my royalty statements and I can tell when I'm getting some spins on internet radio because my streams go up. I can tell, so that's the importance of internet radio.
Man, can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead.
Dominating the whole conversation.
Oh, we're sorry.
That is not true.
Yeah. I gotta agree with Danny on that one.
It was not our fault. Somebody wanted to eat pizza during that time.
What I was gonna say is this, and I'm actually about to give y'all a really great marketing nugget, right? Because at the end of the day, So, and this is going back to, I think Bettina said this, and this is not, I'm pulling out what you said about getting engrossed and forgetting to like post and to share and stuff like that. And there are a lot of artists who they forget to do that. I want to show you guys something. Well, actually, you can't even see it. I'm about to say, this is the I Worship email. These are all people who submit music, and I have not had the opportunity to even listen to all of those yet, right? If we play your music, share it. Now, this is the nugget that I want to give to you. A lot of people are always, looking for the huge publicity, right? They're always looking for the magazine. They're looking for radio interviews and stuff. And that stuff is great, right? I'm going to tell you where some of the secret sauce is. The indirect marketing, right? Everybody wants to brag on themselves and they want to be like, yo, buy my music, buy my music, buy my... First of all, people get sick of you saying, buy my music. So the indirect marketing is where it's at, right? So radio playing your music is the best way for you to brag about yourself without actually bragging about yourself. So this is a nugget for you. If you don't go to Canva or postermywall.com,
there you
put
go.
a great picture of yourself and your cover art on whatever posting it is, take the logo of the radio station, put it up there and say, thank you, I Worship 96 for spinning my record or whatever.
There you go.
Then you post that, tag the radio station, you post it on all your social media. Guess what then happens, right? The station sees that, we will repost it. We're gonna retweet it. We're going to share it in our stories on Instagram. We're going to share it on Facebook because you took the time to do that. So now everybody that's part of my audience, right? And I Worship audience rolls pretty deep, especially on our Instagram. We have over 12,000 followers on there, right? So then now that we've shared it, now you have access to all of my people for free, and you did not pay me for that. It was simply because you took the time to do that. Then so now you got my audience. What works is because it's reciprocal. And so for me, what I love about it is now people that didn't know about I Worship, this is why I want to share you, because now you're sharing me with your audience, right? But then this is what's great. Your audience is like, yo, Bettina's music's being played on I Worship 96. That's so dope. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, she's getting played there. So guess what? The people that did not believe in you, the people that honestly just want to buy your music to talk about you, quite frankly, we could care less. Give me your money. I don't care. Right? Now, all of a sudden, you got people that are checking for you that really weren't checking for you before because there's credibility in being played on the station. But guess what? You just got access to my 12,000 people on Instagram, and I'm the owner of I Worship 96. So I always retweet my own stuff to my 35,000 followers on my Instagram. Plus, you got my 5,000 people on my one profile. You got the 2,300 on. You get what I'm saying? Like, it is a reciprocal relationship. So stop forgetting. This is not coming on you, boo. This is on everybody who they don't think about it. And this is the secret sauce of that. Is the fact that you want indirect marketing. It's great to be in the magazine. Guess what? Magazines sometimes start at $250 and go above that for you to get a feature in there if you don't have a relationship with somebody. And sometimes you have a publicist who doesn't have a relationship with anybody, because I don't know why they're calling themselves a publicist and they don't even know how to write a press release. I'm just saying, I can't tell y'all how many people, I'm not even going to sip any tea on that. I can't tell you how many so-called publicists will call me to ghostwrite a press release for them. I don't understand why you calling yourself a publicist and you can't write a press release. You better check somebody's receipts and make sure that these people actually know what they're doing, know what they're talking about. I'm just saying, though, there's some things that you can do yourself. I don't care if your flyer is ugly. The biggest thing is post the logo of the station on there, put the name of the station on there, tag the station, tell everybody thank you so much. Just want to give a shout out to them. Y'all, you just got access to so many people for free, including your naysayers. And we don't really care too much about them anyway. But guess what? Somebody's going to buy your stuff. You about to make some money off the people that have been hating on you. Hello.
Come on now.
Say thank you for hating on me all the way to the bank. Now y'all try to run over the conversation again. I said what I had to say.
I knew that was coming.
First of all,
Seagrams.
Let me give it up for Tamika, because people are going to go back and watch what she just said.
Right.
Because that was pretty much how to do internet radio 101. Okay.
Indirect marketing.
Indirect marketing. That was 101 right there.
Yeah.
The only thing that I'm going to add to that is, if you see that somebody like a Tamika, where I worship, is going in, doing the extra things for you, then it shouldn't be a problem for you to contact her and say, hey, what is it going to cost for me to do an interview? What is it going to cost for me to do some more marketing? Because I've seen that you've already invested in me. And, this is a safe place that you do what you say you're going to do, And this is when you can start talking like, hey, do you need me to come in and do some bumper music for you? So do you need me to come in and do a ad that I can, I could do the drops on I Worship Today, blah, blah, blah. And we can start building a relationship and building together. The whole idea of the blind inbox with an MP3 in it, not going to work. It's just not going to work.
And it's to add to it is, again, it's about value for value, okay? Not necessarily for money per se. If you say you may not have it, but what value are you bringing for this person's time, okay? With what I do, again, I try to make it a simple advertising and promotions marketing company, all right? Yeah, I could do the press release and all, but I don't want to do all that, because I have other things going on. I'd rather pass it on to Tamika or somebody that I trust. I would rather send you to her, or being a producer. I'm not a producer. I'll send you to D-Ray. So, okay, but stay in your lane. And yes, check the receipts of these people that offer these quote unquote services. Okay, because it's all about the money, basically. That's the reason why they put it on there. So, because they'll get somebody to do it, pay them, hey, look, can you do this for me, to represent their company? So,
and let me also say this, and I'm talking directly to Bettina, because I saw one of her comments that she says, not a publicist. No, not.
She said she on fleek.
Yeah, that was. She was talking about. Yeah, she was talking about. She was talking about you and your head wrap, but I'm talking about the not public.
Yeah.
This whole idea, Bettina, is what a lot of content creators, a lot of indie producers, artists, this is the first thing they think about when they're stepping on that road, because this is another skill that you have to learn. And this is another, I don't know if my internet went off or not. This is another skill that you have to learn. And so it can be kind of intimidating, but I can guarantee you this, that, Bettina, I know you have the personality to get this done. You know what I mean? And I would recommend you hire Tamika for a coaching session, let her get you on that right path. And that's really all you're going to need, is just to say, okay, this is what I need to do, and this is when I need to do it. And so don't be intimidated by that.
They're really, and like you said, Danny, what you're alluding to, there's so much that folks can do on their own, and there's a lot that you can do that really doesn't cost a lot of money. Money definitely can open up bigger doors, and it can open up doors a lot faster, but there's a lot that you can do. You know what I mean? There's, like I said, about even just creating that little posting. That's you can go to postermywall.com or Canva.
Love
of y'all
Canva.
Still are using PowerPoint, but more power to you. If you need to use PowerPoint to create your stuff, go ahead and use it. But I'm just saying, those things are open for you, and they make it look nice. Go to Fiverr.com.
Yes, Fiverr. Yep.
Design something for you. I mean, my company, we do all that stuff too. I'm just saying that these are ways that you can do it, where if you don't have a large budget, honestly, and I'm gonna tell you this also, don't be afraid to connect with somebody that you need to connect with, right? So, people probably get intimidated, but what I was saying, for example, is the bigger ticket items are going to cost a certain amount of money. I don't charge a lot for a coaching session, because for me, like I look at what I do as a form of ministry. So my thing is never to kill people's pockets. So don't be afraid of that stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
But like, y'all, there's really a lot that you can be doing on your own, but you cannot ignore that you do have to push yourself, and that you have to market. You cannot get so caught up in just the music that you forget that you have to tell people that it was created. You know what I'm saying? So if nobody knows that you were standing in the middle of the forest singing with all the violins and stuff like that, then you've just spent all that money in the middle of the forest for no reason. So you always have to be pushing yourself and promoting yourself. And the other tidbit that I want to give to folks is sometimes you're afraid to post a lot on your social media. Things don't live on social media for very long, right? They only live for a couple of minutes, really. The one thing that you need to stop doing is posting an infomercial every time. Like, it should not be buy my t-shirt, with your face on it. Don't get me started on that again. Buy this. Because what happens is people put blinders onto that stuff. They put blinders on. Produce great content that people want to see and that people want to share. Folks, tonight, the name of the game is indirect marketing. If you listen, I'm going to tell y'all something. If you really want to know how to market yourself, find yourself one. I would say,
thank you, sir.
Look at one of your favorite artists and look at what happens with them. The way I learned how to market myself as an author and ultimately as an artist later, is because I looked at people that I liked and I'm like, what are they doing on their social media? Where are they? Where are their fans? Because if your music is similar to theirs, then their fans are going to want to be your fans.
Exactly.
Like, that's a potential. You guys are on social media, you're buying likes, you're buying followers. And honestly, here's the secret. Go to your favorite person who you think your music is similar and you think their fans would like you. And guess what? Go to their followers list and follow some of their followers. Don't do too many though, or else you'll get shut down. But follow like 20 followers every couple of hours. They're going to follow. A lot of them are going to follow you back.
Yep, exactly.
I'm done giving y'all free stuff.
I'm done. So book a session, you know what I'm saying? Hey.
No.
But legitimately, those are things you can do, and it just requires your time. So stop saying, hey, I don't have time to do that. I don't have time to do that. Yes, you do. I hate to be crass, but when you're sitting on the toilet, you got time. Because you're probably texting somebody anyway. Like, pick a moment. When you're watching TV, you're watching Netflix, you can Netflix and follow. Netflix and follow. And then when you follow, go to their stuff and be like, yo, that head wrap is so cute, girl. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Be social. People like that. I'm done.
No, she is so on.
Wait, you got a media client that I think you were giving me a compliment. We didn't hear you.
Yeah,
I think you giving me a compliment. We got to get this because he called me a dinosaur like thrice times. Y'all heard me say thrice? I say
all right, Peter. Yeah. Jesus.
Okay. Okay. So here's the compliment for Tamika. She is very good at. Did you hear that?
No.
Too bad. Anyway, so Tamika, you are great. You're great at what you do. But here's the thing. I have a client that is a fitness person, right? And she had a situation about a week ago where, social media. I have a social media client, and she was like, "I want to know why this person has 10,000 likes, and I'm having a hard time getting clients." And and I literally had to sit her down and say, "Okay, let's go look at their social media, right?" And we went down on her social media. I said, "Now, go down on her wall from all her posts over the last few days. Do you see anything that says follow me, like me, share me? Do you see anything that says buy this, buy that, buy this? What do you see? You see her having pictures with her family. You see her maybe exercising a little bit. You see her having a reflective moment on a family member that had just passed away from COVID-19. Okay. You see her having reflective moments where she is offering prayers to other people for whatever it is that they're going through. This is an example of someone who has taken their social media and used it as a tool to create relationships, not using it as a tool to create sales leads. Because what winds up happening is when you create the relationship, then the relationship can lead to the sales lead, right? That people want to invest in your brand. But you got to take time in developing relationships with people. You can't just come in and just be like, hey, like whenever we would go to Walmart, before the shutdown, and you come back and there's a flyer on your car, what I mean? And it's like, it's just like, who put this on here? And,
I leave those flyers right on the car, and I ride real fast, and I get excited.
Let them fly in the wind.
I turn on my windshield, and it flies off. I get excited. I don't even look at it.
See, you are littering. That's what it is.
I'm being
littering. Hey, look.
She's doing the Johnny Appleseed promotion where she decides that she's gonna let it fly off into the wind and hope that it throws somebody else's business.
Hey, Eric, man, I definitely wanted to have you on here, man, because you're more than welcome to come as well, man. Because this brother has some great knowledge. He's an artist as well, but he says I have a major problem with social media and everything, marketing and promotions, you name it. So, well, that's why some folks not really making money because you're always trying to sell something, but it goes back to building that relationship. So with people before they invest money in you that know, like, and trust. So anything y'all want to say on that?
When Danny was speaking, I was like the giant that came to my mind was McDonald's. Like McDonald's never says to buy anything. They've created a relationship, and the relationship is with us and food. So the relationship, what they appeal to is your desire for their food. They've created a relationship with people who want something fast, right? That is the relationship, and they foster that. So, you always have to be thinking, what do people need? If you've written a great song, especially now, that speaks about healing and things like that, why aren't you talking about healing and encouraging people? Because when people love you and they buy into you, they are going to want whatever you have.
There you go.
I learned that a long time ago. And my mother was the best person. She didn't even realize she was such a great marketing person. She still doesn't. But my mom used to say, Tamika, you're so consumed with money. You're always worried about money. You're always trying to make the dollar. And she was like, if you just do what God called you to do, it's going to come. And for me, I'm like, lady, what are you talking about? I need to tell people to buy this because I need to make money. If you guys were to go to my social media, I will tell people, because you do have to tell people, hey, listen, go to my website to get this. That's not a problem. What we're saying is don't make that every interaction. If every time your child came to you and hugged you and said, "Mommy, I love you. Can I please have $10?" If every time your child came to you and
That's
they
good
wanted
right
to
there.
commune with you, they always wanted something behind it. Because we're quick to be like, every time. Listen, I'm gonna tell you something. Like with my kids, I'm like, don't you ask me for nothing when we go in this store. You know what I mean? Like we're so quick to say, don't you do that. So why do you feel like on social media, where we're supposed to be social, that people always want you to have your hand out or have your hand in their pocket? Get your hand out of my pocket. I'm just saying. Like people don't want that. So if you look at my social media, I didn't even realize I was doing it. I was just in a dark place in my life, and I began to minister from that dark place. Like I was getting ready to go through a divorce, and I was broken. I was so broken, and I began to minister from my pain, from the depths of a shattered heart. I began to minister, like and where things really took a shift for me. And I'm not saying I hadn't built a platform, but where things really took a shift for me was a couple of years ago, when I like accepted that I was a people pleaser or something like that. And I did a series about needing to do a people pleaser detox. And when I got on my lives and I poured into people about what I was learning about how to detox yourself from toxic people, that is when things shifted for me. Like I understood that I didn't need to sell people my books. I didn't need to sell them my shirt. All I had to do, I gave them Jesus. Honestly, I gave them that. I gave them hope. I gave them encouragement. And because people fell in love with me, they were willing to try my product. They were willing to go to my website.
There you go.
A lot of times they would say, where can I find out more about you? Right? So like, you got to get out of your head that all you have to do is sell. I'm not saying that you can't sell. I would say out of like the 21 posts that you post in a week, at least 8 to 10 of them can be saying, hey, go to my website. Check this out on my website. Like you do need to give some, like you should have a call to action. But honestly, let us take your cover art, put the music behind it and say, press play. Y'all, I wrote this when one of my songs, Lifeline, I was getting ready to commit suicide. Like I was. And I was sitting on the side of my bed contemplating how to do it. And all of a sudden the words, your presence surrounds me. Your presence, it comforts me. You know what I mean? That came to me. And so when I talk about Lifeline, it's about Jesus was my lifeline because I was ready to take my life. Let people know you on that level. And I promise you they're going to want your product. I promise you they're going to want your song. I'm done.
Wow.
That was great. And
man, powerful. Hey, we got 2 minutes.
Real quick social media nugget. As you're doing this and as you are sharing yourself and creating relationships, keep something in mind. This is why it is very important for you to learn what a Facebook ad is and what the power that Facebook ads do, especially in social media. Because let's say Tamika, for example, Tamika may have 5,000 people that follow her on Facebook, but when she starts to post, only a certain percentage of those followers are going to see that post, because Facebook will cut the amount of people that see what you post because they want you to pay for the access to the rest of your fan base, to the rest of your friends and the rest of your followers. Okay. Now here's the thing that 2 things that people really don't realize. Number one, if the Facebook algorithm sees that you're selling something on your personal page, they cut the amount of people they see even further. All right. So maybe now when you were getting 10% likes, 5% may only see it if the Facebook algorithm sees that you're selling something. Okay. That's number one. Number two, if you are doing something that's going to send people off of the Facebook platform, they cut it again, right? There are some tricks to the trade on how to do social media that will not get the algorithm to get you caught up in that, so that you can start getting more people to see your message. Okay. But really, really, if you don't know about Facebook ads and you really want to get on that road, YouTube, Google, learn about the power of that and be willing to invest. Hey, $5 a month can get you a bunch more followers. So,
And then
I know we've hit the hour, and forgive me, because just to kind of,
mm-hmm,
so give us like an extra like 1 or 2 minutes, Ron, because
mm-hmm.
this is honestly, folks, this is really good meat, right? So this is another way for you to understand the algorithm. I studied the algorithms of like Facebook and Instagram. You know, Instagram is owned by Facebook, folks. So the way the algorithm kind of works, and this is for people who you get a lot of likes, you get a lot of comments on your stuff, and you think that you're too grand to respond back to people who took the time to respond to you. You're cutting off the ability for your stuff to flourish and to go out further. So what happens is when you first post something, the algorithm is already kind of trying to figure out, is this worthy of other people seeing it? So it shoots out to a certain number of people. Once it hits that level of people, like once you hit a certain number of people that say, yo, okay, like, you know, they're commenting, they're liking your stuff, then it'll take it and shoot it out to an even further base. And then it'll go to, you know, people that don't even follow you. Then if it reaches another level, then it goes even further to another group of people that don't know you. So especially in the early moments that you're posting something, when you are getting those comments, try to comment right back, because your comment feeds into the algorithm. And the algorithm, what you're trying to do is tell it, look, this is an important post that other people are going to want to see, right? So you actually can help yourself by making sure that you are replying to people. So that, what does that mean? That means post content that's going to make people want to comment on your stuff. So if all you're doing is saying, hey, buy my CD, and you've already posted that 20 times, nobody's commenting. So nobody's going to see it. So you're not going to make a sale. And nobody's going to hear your music.
At all.
There it is. And real quick, yeah, you can stay on Facebook, which is cool. All right. But what you want to get on is Google. All right. And get those SEO numbers up and things. Matter of fact, if you go Google DJ Ronnie Ron, you'll see me up there. So I'm not number one yet, but well, I have been several times, but it's somebody else there. But I have pretty much the rest of the page. But again, you want people talking about you and things. All right. So just learn the business, learn marketing, or hire somebody that can help you with that. Okay. So again, I want to thank you all so much for joining us. Music Industry Makeover Podcast. Again, we come on every Thursday night with industry professionals like ourselves. And hey, Arquise, man, definitely want to have you back on, man, for sure, bro. Because man, you definitely give a great wealth of knowledge or so, and we want to bring other professionals as well on here to help you and just let you know the industry is small, and hopefully you all got something of value tonight. Hey, any last words? Starting with Tamika.
Why you start with me? Because I talk too much.
Well, I was just saying, I would say, ladies first. Hey, just little shivery. You know what I'm saying? Hey, but Oh man, no.
Shady much? You've been shady all night, Ronald.
Me, hey. Oh, see, she will call me my government, Ronald. Oh Lord.
You've been shady all night.
Oh Lord. Anyways, hey, it's all good. Ray, Danny Ray, Danny Ray.
Oh, boy. Look, y'all. We love being on here. We love sharing information with you guys. Make sure that you comment, make sure that you share the show, make sure, send us an inbox and let us know what kind of impact we're having on your career and if we can help move some things forward for you. And just remember, relationships are important.
Definitely. Hey, and with always, hey, you matter in the kingdom of God. So don't compare yourself or your ministry to anyone else out there. Just do what God's called you to do and you'll be just fine. All right. Hey, we'll see you again for another segment of the Music Industry Makeover. Hey, God bless you. We love you. All right. Peace. Yeah.
Just give me the music.